MadBhagavad Gita, Chapter-8, Aksara para Brahma Yoga, Attainment of Salvation. Verse 1. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the ultimate truth? What is the embodied self? What is fruit of action? What is described as the governing principle of the phenomenal existence? And what is declared the underlying foundation of all the demigods? O Krishna, who is the Lord of sacrifice within the body? How is it situated? And how can this be known at the moment of death by the self-control? Lord Krishna said, the supreme indestructible reality is declared as the ultimate truth. Its eternal nature is the embodied self. Procreation and the desired development in the material existence of the physical bodies of all living entities is delineated as fruit of actions. Perishable objects are of the phenomenal existence. The omnipresent transcendental personality is the underlying foundation of all the demigods. And I, within the body, certainly am the Lord of all sacrifices, O best of Verse 5. One who remembers me at the moment of death, relinquishing the body, ascends and achieves my nature. There is certainly no doubt about this. Verse 6. O Arjuna, one who at the final moment gives up their body, remembering any idea whatsoever, certainly becomes the object of that idea, being absorbed in it by constant contemplation. Therefore, constantly remembering me at all times, fight, offering your mind and spiritual intelligence unto me, and certainly you shall attain me without doubt. O Arjuna, remembering at every moment the effulgent Supreme Personality with an undeviated mind, perfected in the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness, one achieves Verse 9. Him. One meditates on the omniscient primordial, the controller, smaller than the atom, yet the maintainer of everything, whose form is inconceivable, resplendent like the sun, and totally transcendental to the material nature. One who at the moment of death, with an undeviating mind, by the power of the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness, engaged in devotional service, properly establishes the life breath between the eyebrows and achieves the effulgent Supreme Personality. Verse 11. That path which the learned knowers of the Vedic scriptures declare imperishable, into which the great renounced ascetics, devoid of sensual desires, enters, and that which striving to reach the vow of celibacy is maintained, I shall explain to you in summation. Withdrawing from sense objects all the senses of the body, and steadying the mind within the heart, fixed in self-realization, with the life breath in the head, is being established perfectly in the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate. Verse 13. Anyone uttering the indestructible monosyllable Om, the transcendental sound vibration of the ultimate truth, remembering me continuously, thus relinquishing their body in this way, Verse 14. The supreme goal. O Arjuna, for such a one perfecting the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness, without deviation, always engaged in constantly remembering me, continuously, to him I am very easily attainable. Verse 15. The great souls, having achieved ultimate perfection, take refuge of me, never again assume this transitory birth, full of misery. Verse 16. The residents of all the worlds, O Arjuna, from Brahma's world, the most evolved material planet in all of the trillions of universes, downwards, are subject to the cycle of repeated birth and death. But by taking refuge of me, O Arjuna, repeated rebirth. Verse 17. Those who know Brahma's day, which comprises the duration of 4,320,000,000 years, and his night, also the duration of 4,320,000,000 years, are knowers of day and night. With the advent of his day, all living entities are produced from the unmanifest, and at the arrival of his night, disappear again therein, to that which is designated as the unmanifest. Verse 19. O Arjuna, these very same and numerous living entities, repeatedly taking birth, with the advent of his day, disappear on the arrival of his night, manifesting again automatically on the advent. Verse 20. But another unmanifest, which is eternal, of a superior nature, from the unmanifest of Brahma, that is never destroyed, when all living entities perish. Verse 21. That unmanifest is described as imperishable, and proclaimed to be the supreme goal. Having reached, never returns to the material existence. That is my Verse 22. O Arjuna, that supreme personality by whom nothing is greater, situated within all living entities, and by whom everything is pervaded, can be achieved only by unalloyed devotion. Verse 23. The exact time for passing from this world for those perfected in the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness to receive liberation, and the time at which one receives rebirth, I shall now describe, O Arjuna. Persons knowledgeable of the ultimate truth, who pass from this world by Agni, the demigod of fire, by Yoti, the demigod of light, by Aha, the demigod of daytime, by Sukla, the demigod of the waxing moon, and Uttarayanam, the presiding demigod of the 6 months of the sun's progression between winter solstice and summer solstice, they attain the ultimate truth. Verse 25. One perfecting the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness, who passes from this world by Duma, the demigod of smoke, Ratri, the demigod of night, the demigod of the waning moon, and also Dakshinyanam, the presiding demigod of the 6 months for the sun's progression between summer solstice and winter solstice, after reaching the heavenly illuminated lunar spheres, undergoes rebirth. Verse 26. These light and dark paths are beginningless, and certainly as eternal as the material universes. By one's liberation is attained, and by the other one repeatedly returns. Verse 27. Again. O Arjuna, coming to know about these two paths, anyone perfecting the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness is never deluded. Therefore, O Arjuna, always be engaged in the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness. Verse 28. Whatever the meritorious rewards indicated in the Vedic scriptures by ritualistic sacrifices, rigorous asceticism, or by philanthropic charity, one perfected in the science of uniting the individual consciousness with the ultimate consciousness transcends them all and achieves the supreme primordial abode. Thus ends the Sri Bhagavad Gita Trust translation of MadBhagavad Gita, Chapter 8, entitled Aksara Brahma Yoga, Attainment of Salvation.